Get ready. Come on. Get ready. Hey. Get ready for Betty and Michelle, Phyllis and Stephanie. There's a new show called Good Grief, Good Gossip, Good God, called it G3. Education, celebration, transparency. There's no subject they won't tackle if it uplifts you and me. Good grief, good gossip, good God, G3.
Hello, and welcome back to Good Grief, Good Gossip, Good God. We have a fabulous lineup this afternoon for you, and we are so excited. But before we get to that, I've got to introduce my beautiful sisters. Yes, I do. I would love to introduce back to you the one and only Miss Delta Diva, Miss Betty Bae. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And our beautiful pearly whites, Miss Phyllis Clark. And our oh so lovely working, my soror, my other soror, Phyllis is my soror too. Smiling from ear to ear is our lovely, oh so beautiful Michelle Clark. And I'm Stephanie Lackey. Also, I'm here with you this evening, and we are so excited to talk about what is a good girlfriend. What makes a good girlfriend, right? We all have them. Some of them are here with us just for a moment, some are here with us for a season. You know, life changes. Sometimes they're just in and out. But what makes a good girlfriend? Let's talk about it. Phyllis, let's start with you.
Yes. Well, I love this topic. Hello, everybody. Thank y'all for tuning in. Sisters, the one thing that always helps me to either be a friend or have a friend is to make sure that I don't judge. I don't want to be, I want to be with a sister friend who is willing to go there. I mean, how can we fix ills or think about what hurts us without being brutally honest about what it is that we're going through? And how can we do that if we're not sure if my sister who's taking me in is not judging me at the same time? But, so I don't want to feel like that. I have been blessed to be around sister friends who I don't feel that way around. And so it helps me to release better. It helps me to release more. And I'm able to, just lay my stuff somewhere. That's the one thing that I love being able to do, because we can hold all this baggage and we can walk around with all these rocks on our backs, but why? And it doesn't even take 10, 15. It really just takes one. And so I'm happy to share that, I have someone that I have leaned on throughout this pandemic, actually two people, and I just love them so much, and we respect each other. And we are more than anything willing to share, in the day, night, it doesn't matter. And it doesn't matter about what. And that helps me so much. And so I just say, pushing all that judgment to the rear. It doesn't even need to be in our orbit at all. So yeah, so that's what I think about it. Miss Betty, how do you feel about that?
Well, those of you who know me, and thank you, this is a very serious topic for me, simply because you all know, and I've told other people over the years, that the first person to break my heart was a girlfriend. Was somebody that I loved dearly and who apparently didn't love me as much as I loved her. And my mother was very cautious and never thought that I was quite a good judge of people because I liked everybody, or so I thought. And then I realized that everybody doesn't love me the way I love them or like me the way I like them. And I also think that there is like not a universal standard for sisterhood, because I have different sets of friends. And the way I may talk to one is not the way I talk to the other. I try to gauge what my friends, because sometimes people say, well, just tell the truth. But you have to gauge how your friend can handle that truth. And if you don't do that right, you can really, mess it up. So for me, um, I have just grown more cautious in these years of my life. And I have one thing the pandemic has taught me is about friendship and about the people who I dearly want to talk to and the ones who I haven't talked to them for a year and I don't feel any loss. There's no, it's okay. It doesn't make them bad. It just means that, we are not in the universe. And Stephanie sort of mentioned it in the beginning, and I say it all the time. Some friends come for a season. Some are not there to stay.
Yes.
And it's not just about them moving away physically. Sometimes they move away from you spiritually and intellectually, and they're on another journey. Some women, when they get involved with a man or get in a relationship, they cut off their girlfriends. They don't need you anymore like they needed you. So for me, I think for me to be a good friend, I try to gauge where people are. I try to gauge, what I can say, because I don't want to hurt in the idea of trying to help. So it is like, it's really something you have to be careful, because you can get your heart broken and your feelings hurt when you think you're helping, but you're not. Like I said, I don't think there's one universal standard, because there's some girlfriends I talk to one kind of way, and y'all know what I be talking. But I wouldn't talk like that or feel comfortable doing that with everybody that I know who I still consider a friend.
Right.
So that's just, my take. I don't want it to be a downer or anything, but I'm trying to get better, because I don't want to be hurt and I don't want to hurt anybody. And it really hurts when a friend, a girlfriend particularly, betrays you. It really leaves a wound. And my wound hasn't healed in all of these years, even though David kept saying to me, you've got to give it up. She really hurt me. And we never had a chance to talk it out. She never made herself available to me. She disappeared from my life. And we never had closure on that. And then she tried to be my friend on Facebook 50 years later. I'm like, no, you knew it was coming. Well, thank you.
Never a dull moment with.
What about you? What about you, Michelle?
For me, it's the friends who can be honest with you. The ones that don't always tell you what you want to hear, but what you need to hear. I'm kind of like Phyllis. You'll hear me. It's a term of endearment. I refer to several of my girlfriends as my sisters, but I've had the same friends for a long time, and my circle is very close knit. And it's not, and I'm not gonna say a long time. It's not always about time. It's about the quality too. Let me say that, because I've got a best friend that we've been friends since we were in Black Achievers in high school. So that's my ride or die, my best friend, my day one, that I've been friends with forever and a day. But you all will also see, all of you all know my other ride or die is my sister Sharon, that you see me with at church all the time. And we've been at church together for umpteen years, but our bond, our friendship, our sisterhood started because we were pregnant together. We both have 14-year-olds.
I remember.
Yep, we were both waddling around St. Stephen together, and we've been inseparable ever since. And just have a bond that I thank God for. And I'm a firm believer that God brings you who you need when you need them. But both of my friends, her and Carmen, they will be very, and I don't want to hear it sometimes. You all know sometimes there's stuff that it hurts our feelings, but they're telling us that information out of love. And I'm very blessed in both of them. They will tell me what I need to hear and not what I always want to hear. And to me, that is a good girlfriend who's, gonna love you dearly and won't embarrass you out in public. But when you get in private, okay, sis, you probably shouldn't have done this, or you should have done it this way. You might not like this, but let me just keep it real with you. So for me, those girlfriends, my two ride or dies that tell me what I need to hear is key for me. And those that there's kind of a code for me. Just, you can share your deepest secrets with, that what you share with them, you're not going to hear by 10 or 20 other people, because you can share. I mean,
Yeah.
that's a pet peeve of mine. My business is my business. And if I trust you and consider you a girlfriend or a dear friend, I trust that what we share, our deepest secret, and vice versa. What you share with me, it's staying with me. You know, you
Yeah.
can be friends with a big group of people, but if Sally shares something with you, that doesn't mean you need to go share with Betty or with Stephanie or
Mhm.
Phyllis. That information should stay between you. So those are my two things. Those that tell you what you need to hear, you
Yeah.
can trust, and that are there when you need them the most. For
That's
me.
right.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
I love
totally
it.
agree. Friendship, true friendships are worth it, as you know. Having a real good girlfriend is it's worth the investment, right? I mean, I guess some people don't think of it that way, but if you've had a friend like you mentioned since high school, my ride or die friend, we started in kindergarten together. So all these years we're the same exact age, and she's my ride or die from my hometown in Toledo. Shout out to Nancy Jean Winston.
What's her last name?
But that
Look,
type of
what's her last name?
relationship, um,
What's her last?
Thompson, Nancy Thompson.
I thought you said another name.
I
Okay.
did. I called her by her maiden name, but that was back
Which
because I was,
which is Winston, right?
which was Winston.
Which is
Yes.
my maiden name. Yes. Okay.
Ah,
I
yes. Oh,
thought
yes.
that.
So making it
That's
fun.
right. That's right. So, just having that type of friendship, like you said, where you could be transparent, right? You
Yes.
can cry on each other's shoulder. You can share your most intimate
Mhm.
secrets with. And also, if there is anything that happens within your life, tragic, they're going to be there for you, right? They're going to
Mhm.
check on you. They may even
Mhm.
get on a plane and be right there the next day.
Yeah.
That type of girlfriend is very valuable. But that, for me came over time. I have had
Mhm.
girlfriends who I've trusted in who betrayed my trust. And it took me a long time to start trusting other girlfriends, and inclusive with my girlfriend back in my hometown. But God has blessed me over the years. I have girlfriends that I can call upon that are much more mature than me, and they can keep me in order behind closed doors, and sometimes not behind closed doors. But I know their heart, right? I know their heart, and I know they mean me well, and they know that I have the type of personality things just kind of go off of my shoulders, so I'm not, too concerned about it. But just having that empathy for one another, understanding one another, having points of views where you don't always agree, right? And
Mhm.
it's okay. And
Mhm.
sometimes having, some deep conversations that might be, a little bit risky, that
Mhm.
make you feel like, oh, you know what, for tonight, let's just call it a night. We're gonna say time out right now, right? But come back the next day. Come on, let's go get us some, I don't
Yeah.
know, Outback. Let's just, love on one another and just respect each other's differences.
Yeah.
I just think that's so important.
And you know what? And not to have the expectation that like the girls that is your ride or die, that everybody that's in, because we throw around that word friend, and
Mhm.
sometimes it's acquaintances. So
Right.
you shouldn't have the expectation that somebody who's got a ride or die is going to share with you what she might share with her ride or die. Or
That's right.
those people who because you're their friend, they want to like all of your friends.
Mhm.
And so I don't have the expectation that all my friends, that we will all like the same people. I have friends that don't care for other people, and I try to make it my business not to sort of mix that up in any kind of way where you put people together and you know that there's tension. Because
Mhm.
sometimes, I love somebody and I got another friend, they're like, no. But I'm just saying, just to keep it real, is
Yeah.
that we don't, like I said, when you talk about those deep, dark things, that is really to be shared with those people that are your ride or dies and that you can trust, and not to get those acquaintances mixed up. And
Mhm.
my mother used to say there's three things you don't want to be: it's a liar and a thief and a jealous person.
Mm.
I think that sometimes that jealousy thing rises up. And I used to think people were jealous because of material things like your money or your house or something. And then it dawned on me that sometimes girlfriends envy you just because of who you are
Just because
Wow.
of who you are.
and how
Let's.
you are and
Yeah.
what you attract, and they don't attract. And I remember I had one friend. And I told my sister to keep an eye because I'm really not always good at reading stuff. And she said, "Oh, Betty, she likes you. The problem is she wants to be you."
Oh, let's talk about that after this commercial
Woo.
break. And
Yeah.
that is a great topic to talk about. We will return in just a moment with some, please come back. We've got some more information on being a true girlfriend.
Get ready for the second season of Miss Pat's Neighborhood. I'm your host, Pat Matheson, and boy, do we have an unapologetically black, bold, and beautiful season planned just for you. So buckle your seatbelts. It's gonna be a wild ride. And you know there's always something good going on in Miss Pat's Neighborhood. So join us each week or on demand at SSC Live TV. It's TV our way.
Well, welcome back to Good Grief, Good Gossip, Good God. Hey, we have a very interesting topic, and we're going to carry on talking about how to be a good girlfriend. And I want to kind of lead off or pick up what Miss Betty mentioned about how sometimes, you think someone is your friend and you trust in them, and just something in your gut tells you something's not right. Something's just not feeling right with this, but I'm going to still pursue this friendship, right? And then all of a sudden you just start feeling you can just feel their spirit. It's just not right. And, Betty, you mentioned, sometimes it's not that they're, envy or jealous of your money, your home, your vehicle or whatever. Sometimes, and I've experienced this before where people are just jealous because maybe you're an outgoing person. You're always smiling, or how you carry yourself, how poised you are, how you don't crumble under pressure. Some people with insecurities, they want to just be who you are instead of just embracing what God made them to be, because everybody is unique and everybody brings something to the table. So let's kind of talk about that. Let's see, Michelle, my sister Michelle, you want to kind of chime in on that?
I would love to, and I've been there, and I piggyback on that with Stephanie. A lot of people don't know your story; they just see your glory.
Yes.
Hello.
I want to say that is my motto for life. They don't know. And we talked about this briefly during season 1. I share with you all just because we talked about when we were started in our planning phases about us being very transparent and getting to know each other and things of that nature. A lot of people just see the smiling Michelle and think, oh, she's just got it together. She's out here doing these events and she's doing this. But they don't know and I'm very honest, I've dealt with depression. I still deal with it. If I feel overwhelmed or too much is going on, I can tell when I'm getting into that dark space, and I know I'm glad that I'm older and I know the coping mechanisms and things of that nature. And I know that's going to be one of our shows for later on, but I'm just being very transparent. People, they're jealous and envy of you, but they just don't know, okay, I still deal with these things behind closed doors, or I'm there, if someone brings it up on Facebook, I'm reaching out to that sister and not putting them on Front Street on a post, but messaging them or texting them saying, hey, I saw your post. Are you okay? You can talk to me, give me a call, because I understand that dark space, what it's like to be depressed, what it's like to feel overwhelmed. So for me, when people see you on the outside, just that person, understanding, I don't always have it together. So don't be envious of me. Be happy with who you are. Be content with who God made you to be, what your blessing is, what your gift is.
Exactly.
Yes.
But I understand them when Miss Betty said that they want to be you. I'm like, Lord, if they only knew I am a work in progress. Some days I'm a hot mess over here looking like, Lord, look, please pull me together. Just be happy with who you are. So yeah, I get it.
But that's usually because they don't know who they are. They don't know what their gifts are. And so they all up in somebody else's gift. If you can't sing or write a song, like Sister Bridgewater, or, if you can't, write a book like Sherry Mills, or, those kind of things, that's their gifts. And it seems like when you figure out what your gift is, what you're good at, who you are, and it takes a while to get there sometimes.
Takes a while.
It takes a while to get there. You find that out. You don't have time to be worried about somebody else's gift, because you got your own story, your own testimony, and the thing that God wants you to do. So I'm not trying to sing like Aretha. You know, that's not, God didn't put that in me.
Right.
I think that when people, the best friend you can have is a woman who knows her gifts, who knows what God has for her, and she can celebrate you, and you can celebrate her. And
That's
it's like, oh, I'm down with you. What you want to do? What's your dream? I got you.
That's
Yes.
You know what
it, Betty. We need to celebrate each other. I say that all the time. Stephanie, you all see me
Oh,
post.
yes.
I want us
Oh,
all
yes.
to win. There's enough out here for all of us. When I'll never forget, and I'm let Phyllis and Stephanie talk, but I remember when I decided to step out on my own and start doing event planning for myself. And I had, I call them the negative people, but they would say, oh, you're going to be in competition with this person. You're going to be in competition with that person. I said, no, ma'am, I called the top event planners in the city. We remember we did the event planning show last season. And we went out and had lunch and dinner together, and they gave me helpful tips to help me be successful. And I consider them my sisters in the industry. We don't have to be envious of each other. Let's lift each other up. And even if they're not, per se, they can be an acquaintance. And that's another thing, you guys. There's a difference between a friend. There's a difference between an acquaintance. Two totally different things. But we don't, as women, have to be in competition with each other. Let's work to help all of us win, and all of us find the light within each other. Because Miss Betty may be struggling finding what her gift is, but Stephanie may be able to help her find that gift, or Phyllis could help her find that light and what her gift is, so she can help it, to come to fruition.
Yeah, I like that celebrate thing. I love celebrating my sisters. Y'all know I'm huge on that as well. And it's iron. The Bible says iron sharpens iron. Why should we be in competition and envious of something? I'm not an event planner, but I will pick up the phone and call Michelle. Hey, Michelle, I'm trying to do something here. Get me together, honey. Or Betty, you know what? I would like to talk about my documentary. Where do I go?
Where do you start?
Phyllis, I'm interested in, leaving the college that I've been teaching at and coming over to Simmons. Let's tap into each other and celebrate each other. You know, I'm not an author, so I'm not going to write a book. But if I'm interested in putting some kind of something out there, I'm going to go to an expert. And I would hope that the same with me. If I want, and Michelle, I may be calling on you. If I want to dress a certain kind of way, now y'all know Michelle, she puts it together. She's always snatched. So let's celebrate that in one another. Let's celebrate the brilliance that we have. And I love to see women. I love to see posts where we're celebrating each other. I think I sent out a text because I was like, oh, the women on my show, we all doing something. Let me tell you, we all figures. I love celebrating you.
But in our Father's house, there are many mansions. God is not stingy. He's not stingy with the gifts. And there's so many needs. So, anyway, child, please. I love this.
And you know what? And truth be told, Phyllis, I'm so sorry. Truth be told, if you knew my story, you're looking at my glory. But if you knew my story, you wouldn't want to walk in my shoes. You know what I mean? A lot of people look at us and say, oh, they got it together. Okay, yes. Like you said, Michelle, on some days, yes, I do. And I'm always smiling. Even when I'm hurting, I'm going to smile, right? That's
just when you have it together. And when she has it together, tell her, sister, girl, you sure look good.
Exactly. But I'm not trying to walk in your shoes. I'm trying to walk in my own shoes.
Yes. Compliments are, yes. I love compliments. And I think we need to do more of that. And Phyllis, I know we're going to let you chime in here, my beautiful sister. I'm big on that. If I see you and your hair's laid today, okay, your hair is beautiful. Oh, I love that outfit. You getting that body together. You've been working out. Or like Miss Betty, I see you've been drinking your water. You encourage your sisters. That's what we're supposed to do.
That's right.
I know we didn't just.
Well, I'm just taking it all in, and I couldn't agree more with all of you. And the one thing, so I told you last segment that, I had the Persistence Mastermind group. And there were 10 women, 11 of us actually. And the one thread, the common denominator amongst all of us is that we were willing to go above and beyond to see another sister win. And so that's my little slogan in my own little mind is I want to help women win. And how do I do that? I have to understand who she is. I have to understand why she is. And I have to be willing to go there, whether she's a friend or an acquaintance, or someone who could be a client, or just someone in my circle. I mean, we're all here for the same reason. That's to help one another. But I can't be looking left and talking about something on the right and doing all this stuff behind you and hoping to help you win. None of that goes together. And,
Right.
it is my hope that once we truly start to wanting to really help women win, whether they are friends or acquaintances or ride or dies, that we really be truthful and not just of service, but of significance to our sisters. Because
that.
empowered women empower women.
That's it.
And,
Yes.
we were doing this thing, y'all, all together. And
Yes.
somebody was getting her book together. Somebody was finishing a degree. Somebody else was starting a business. Somebody else was getting a daycare center together. And everybody had all of these different things that we were called to do. So I'm honoring the callings of my sisters. I'm honoring their gifts and I'm celebrating it. And then, if I'm just being all the way real, let's just go down this deep well. There are still those who need to be taught how to do this.
That's
That's
right.
it.
So in
You hit the nail on the head. That's it.
our area of service and being significant, they have to see. They have to see it. They have to be brought in.
Yes.
Some
of our sisters are they don't
models
see it
out
and
there.
they're down. They need that help.
Yes, and we
They need
can't
that help.
forget our girls. Showing our girls how to walk this way, y'all.
Absolutely.
Okay, I'm gonna be quiet now.
Phyllis,
No, but
I
what's that-
agree.
Get it?
And what's that old saying? Old saying to understand is that hurt people hurt people.
Oh, that's
Come
it,
on.
Betty.
Sometimes,
Yes.
you get a little glimpse because we are real good at wearing that mask.
Right.
You don't know what's going on, and sometimes when people do things to us, it's literally. I mean, even though it hurts us, it's literally not personal. I mean, it's something that
Yes.
they're hurting, and so they reach out to hurt. They're unhappy, so they reach out to make you unhappy.
That's
They
right.
call you in the morning, and instead of saying, "Girl, how are you?" and there's some people when they call, every time they call, they gonna ruin your day early in the morning, and they just as happy because they have already messed your day up.
Hmm.
Right.
Company.
But once you start to understand a little bit about their story, you could see that some of the people hurt us because they're hurt.
Because
They
they're
don't know
hurt.
how to be a friend because they never really had a friend.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? They don't really understand some things. So, you got to give some little leeway for that kind of slack too, and
A
say,
little
okay,
grace.
a little grace. Yeah, a little grace. To say, okay, I'm gonna give you grace, but I'm not gonna be a victim. I mean, that's what I have to work at. Stop being a victim of other people's tragedies.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I have got to be able to understand when somebody is victimizing me because they've been victimized,
Come
and
on.
figure out how I'm going to navigate that space. And it never stops in any age groups, in your 20s, 30s, 40s, going up. There's
True.
always somebody. And I could just say this very honestly. A couple of friends have disappeared from my life, and we never had a disagreement, never had an argument. It's like they just went away. And I don't know whether God decided that was time.
That was that season.
Yeah, their season had ended.
When I see them, hey girl, how you? But we don't hang out. We don't do what we used to do. And sometimes it's kind of surprising. And you have to. You ever had that person that just faded away and you never quite knew?
Oh
why?
yeah, Miss Betty, that's where I think when sometimes you have to, I love how you all said give them grace, but sometimes, like you and Stephanie both said, if their season is up, you need to be honest with yourself and say, I love you from a distance.
Yeah.
Especially if you're trying to go to the next level and you don't need the negativity in your life, you just have to love them. Look, from 6 months
From a distance.
or across the city, across
Keep
town, wherever.
the mask on. Yes.
Right. And Daddy, you had a good gossip for this evening around this topic.
Well, it is kind of like it. And our good gossip, this time I'm getting this from my man, James Baldwin.
Okay.
James Baldwin said, and this is sort of relevant, he says, know from whence you came. If you know from whence you came, there's really no limit to what you can do.
That is so true.
And that's the point about knowing from whence you came, knowing whose you are and who you are. Once you're there, it is unlimited. And once you become a good friend, like I got a little sign a girl gave me years ago, said the only way to be a friend, the only way to have a friend is to be a friend.
That's right. That's right. Well, we're going to end on that note. Hey, Miss Betty, why don't you let our audience know where they can reach you?
Oh, okay. We got to do the handle. Okay. I can be found on Facebook, and I can be found on bettybaye.com. And you can reach me there and send me a note or something like that, or contact me in Messenger.
Awesome, awesome.
Oh,
And
is that Facebook Messenger, right? Facebook Messenger. Yes.
yes. And I can be found, Stephanie Lackey can be found on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, all the social media platforms. You can also find me at www.slconsultingsolutions, or you can find me at the agileentrepreneur.net, as well as I'm building a nation of faith fighters, right? We all have something that we may be struggling with, and we need God to get us through, and we want to make sure we have faith. So you can also find me on Faith Fighters on either YouTube or on Facebook.
Yes. And I'm Phyllis Clark, and I can be found on Facebook, LinkedIn. Now I'm on Twitter, but I don't know. You can follow me on Twitter if you want to, but but phyllisclarkconsulting.com. I love helping women understand more about who they are so they can brand their brilliance. And so find me at Phyllis Clark Consulting on the Facebook as well. So thank you.
And I am Michelle Porter. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram. I'm like Stephanie, LinkedIn, all the social media platforms. I'm on Twitter, but I'm like my sister Phyllis. I probably don't tweet like everybody else does. And I also am the proud owner of M3 Events by Michelle, which also can be found on Facebook as well as Instagram and www.m3events.org.
Oh, and I'm on Twitter too, but I don't even know what that means, but I'm on there.
How about TikTok?
You want to close us off?
I was going to, Miss Betty, you got a TikTok?
What? A TikTok.
TikTok.
Look, I'm going to tick and talk. When I look at my clock, that's what I do. I don't know how to go in there. And it's like some of these other channels, I got enough. So I'm not ticking and talking. All I know is, and listen, anybody who wants to can reach us through SSC Live. You can send a note to our church, 1015 South 15th Street, Kentucky Street.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah, so you can get us through SSC Live and otherwise, because we are the church that has its own TV network. We are
I love it.
We love it, and we thank you for being with us for another issue of the 3 G's, as we call it. Good grief, good gossip, good God. We got something for you, so come back next time.
Good night.